So you mentioned Afrobeats, right?
Yeah. And that's not a real genre, by the way. It's not.
Like a lot of people try to connect Afrobeats with. I think the connection is more connected to roots than actual dancehall. That's why a lot of those artists fall into the R&B category when they get awards.
I think we gotta give this generation grace because our elders gave us grace, right? They're still trying to figure out their voice as they become the adults in this world. It was no different than Shorty. Nas, remember that?
Insound.com.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Sankofa Sessions with Kofi and Kofi. I am Kofi Annan, along here with my co-host
Kofi Adih. Peace, everybody. Happy New Year. Hopefully you're enjoying this wonderful, wonderful, magical year of 2026. Hopefully you haven't already ruined your resolutions, because if you have, pause.
I don't even make those no more.
Why?
Because I always break them.
Nah, well, that's fine. Pause. I'm not going to do this with you.
That wasn't even pause worthy.
I'm just saying, everybody say pause these days.
All right. And we got actually our first guest.
Wow.
So yeah. We up until now it's just been the two Kofis. But we were honored today to have our guest Sudan, who is a DJ, poet, just straight up Mr. Entertainment.
Yeah,
he's a Renaissance man. He's a
man.
man of culture.
Yeah.
Definitely just trying to just stay relevant. That's all.
So the topic of conversation today is hip hop and black music in general, and we're going to have a conversation about whether or not the state of hip hop currently is a net negative on the culture. So yeah, we're gonna get on into that in a little bit. But Suzanne, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, man?
Oh man, I'm a poet, writer, self-taught photographer. Just an all-around people person. I'm from Tidewater, but I live in Richmond.
Okay. What part? What 7 City you from?
I grew up between the south side of Norfolk and the south side of Chesapeake the majority of my life.
Okay. I lived in North for 9 years.
Yeah.
I lived out Ingleside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too far from the Granby and all that.
Okay.
Shout
out to 7 Cities too, man.
Yeah, definitely. What up, home? Hey, mama. It's just one of those things to where, I just continue to, once I went in, I continued to have my transition as far as my thought process. So when I moved to Richmond, it was just one of those things, man. Just get in, Renaissance, man. Like you said,
man of many talents.
Try to get in on everything that I've seen in the light of being positive. So.
And if I could, Sudan, one of the things I think people don't understand about Virginia, man, is that since we're kind of like the beginning of the South, there's so many like cultures and stuff that melt here, especially in the 7 cities with that influence of the ocean and, the ports and everything like that. I mean, 7 cities, low key, is like a spot of a lot of different cultures meeting in one place.
Yeah, and I know it seemed like we jumped. We were having conversation off camera, so I know somebody might be watching like he just jumped straight into where he was from and all of that. But as far as hip hop, I don't know, man. I've been having these conversations, man. I don't know if to call it a negative or just to call it. It's just like I said off camera. It's its own thing now, and I still ain't grasped it yet. I've been trying. I've been trying to like hone in on a particular artist. And I know I'm only speaking about mainstream because there are underground artists that I love.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely by their albums and all of that. But I'm just, is it that mainstream hip hop person that I draw to? And then it's always the people that I growed up to, like Nas, Common, the whole Roots era. That's kind of like where I'm at.
I got you.
Yeah.
And that's like the vibe I be looking for. So
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I grew up on hip hop, like, and like, as somebody who didn't have my father didn't come into my life until in my adulthood, right? So in a lot of ways, like, I looked at hip hop artists as father figures, for better or worse. Like, it was what it was. Like, luckily I was listening to people like Common, and I still take lessons from stuff I was listening to that left an imprint on my brain when I was younger. So, like, I do kind of feel like we're at the point right now. It's like a net negative, but it's not because of a lack of love and appreciation for the art form. I love it to death, but I do feel like, yeah, we're at a point where it's just not. It's doing more of a negative influence on the culture than not in its present state. At least, like you said, the ones that are getting the most clout.
You sound like a disappointed parent. Almost. That's what you sound like. You like, oh man, my kid didn't do what it was supposed to do.
No, I'm definitely disappointed with him.
Really?
Yeah, like like yeah.
You too, Sudan. You sound like a disappointed parent too. Y'all sound disappointed in hip hop. Is that a real thing?
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, because you got to look, and we're not saying it wasn't no gangster rap, it was no negative rap in the golden age, because it was, but the mass majority of what we fell in love with was, like that Can I Borrow a Dollar album was crazy. I remember buying that joint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get that feeling anymore. It's like most of the time I'm either attracted to the beat or the lyrics, because I am a lyric guy. So, there are artists that have put out songs that I do like over the years. Like Meek Mills, then put out a couple of verses that like on songs that I like really like. Yeah. So it all depends, But this new generation, I don't know what's going on, bro.
But see, you gotta be careful with that, right? I always like to go back to Boondocks. I swear, Boondocks is like the gift that keeps giving, right? Because I don't know if y'all did you watch Boondocks? I know you kind of didn't watch it. Did you watch it?
Never.
I started
later
a little journey on it. Yeah.
Okay. Please, I asked you to watch it during Christmas. I guess you didn't. It's okay, right? Please watch it because it's a good show. They had a episode say F Granddad. It was about this older black man, Thugnificent. For y'all who know the characters, was a rapper on there, and he moved into the neighborhood, and he wanted Grandpa to kind of embrace him because they were the only black people in the community, and he was like, man, I don't listen to that music, and Thugnificent and Grandpa had a beef, and Grandpa actually put out a diss record on him, and Thugnificent was like F Granddad. So you had that classic clash of generations, especially in our community. That's a real thing. So I get y'all, and I'm not disputing. I have been disappointed in hip hop too, but I think as we become elders and we become adults in our community, we got to be careful, because this is the way our younger brothers and sisters express themselves. I may not understand it, but shoot, my mom and dad didn't understand. When I was listening to Pac in the '90s, and then being a child of the late '90s and early 2000s. When I would listen to some of the albums I listened to, they didn't quite get it. So now that we the elder statesmen and women of the generation, how do we balance that being disappointed, but at the same time embracing their movement that we may not understand?
Question for me?
Both.
Just in general?
I'm putting it out there.
So go ahead.
Look, I have embraced, the state is in, because it's also, they have control like nobody has ever had, as far as
shout out to them on that one.
So I gotta, stay attached, because it's a real change that can happen. I know Kofi. I know you ready to tap in on it. That they could really be changing communities across the world, not just the country, but across the world. So just based on that, I think that's where the biggest disconnect for me it is, because imagine KRS-One in his heyday, having access to $50 million.
Yeah. No, so as far as the generations, let me just touch on that real quick. I I actually feel like we're partially, if not primarily, to blame. Like our generation, I think we started down this trend. Like we started gangster rap back when it was called gangster rap. You know,
I mean, Ice-T was doing Ice-T older than us, and he was doing gangster rap.
Yeah, but like that was like late '80s, early '90s. That's me.
That was like mid.
But it was but Schoolie D is who influenced them. He was from out of Philly. Yeah, I think it was out of Philly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but the trend, it's like every generation, everything steps it up another notch, right? So it's like if you're disappointed with what's going on now, then you should look at, well, where did this trend start? And I feel like the trend started with us.
Agreed.
Now,
I agree with
the
that.
difference though is that I feel like we had more balance, right? So like you would have, you know, your Mobb Deep and your, you know, whoever, but then you also had your Lauryn Hills. You also had like your Commons,
who never shows up on time.
You know what?
I mean, she can be the best artist ever, but if
shout out to my sister, man.
She said, what she said on last? She said, yeah, y'all fussing about me being late. I'm trying to teach y'all some. Anyways, on that So I felt like there was more balance, and going back to the control thing, I don't know if it's more control or not, because I actually feel like right now they may have more money. They do have more money, but I don't think they have as much control. I feel like it is super corporate right now. Like streaming, like that's easily manipulated, right?
Yeah.
Like we get like Drake's getting sued right now or something like that, right? For like manipulating the streams and I feel like those algorithms is basically people paying for their songs to reach the top. And so it's like, it's all about corporate. It's all about whatever is going to sell the most. And that's easily manipulated compared to like, you could basically manufacture fans, you know, that in some cases that fans that don't even really exist.
Nobody. Yeah. I think that's what Drake was also suing when he first got into it with the one song with Kendrick. That was like, that was in his lawsuit, was like, the company pushed Kendrick's this more than they pushed his.
Right.
So he was suing for. I mean, I think that thing been resolved now.
No, I think they kicked it. They dismissed the case.
Right. Dismissed it. I mean, for me, it's. I ain't gonna say they definitely got. I'm gonna say control as far as owning more stuff. You know, I just found this week that Salt and Pepper lost their case. They can't even get their masters.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Most of these kids got their masters.
Yeah.
But they're still using the machine to keep them relevant. So I definitely agree with you on that. It's just the negative, man, for me is, Shaka Bottom every weekend.
For those who don't know, Shaka Bottom is a popular entertainment district in Richmond. It's morphed, I would say, about 10, 15 times from what it was in the 90s, but it's always been a hub of entertainment, especially like black clubs, urban clubs. They also had other clubs there, but it's always been a hub, and it's had its ups and downs. I think now we're going through a crime spree. It's going through a violent wave.
The music.
Is it the music?
It's that music.
So hold on. So I come from the Knuck of You Buck area, right?
Okay.
I come from the Lil Jon, that type of music, that crunk era.
Yeah,
it was the same way back then, though. So I mean, and that was
crazy then too.
But that was 25 years ago. But that was,
that's what I'm saying. Like we
go
partially
ahead.
to blame.
That's what we saying. We went through we'd have been through 4 different phases of the change.
So I've been through 3, right? I'm a little bit young. I've been through 3 of them. But the thing is, that's just how the way the youth expresses itself. So I mean, is it inherently bad? I can't say that. I can't say it's inherently bad.
I'm okay. The intensity, I would rather take Dead Prez intensity. And I know these people better kill me than NBA YoungBoy intensity.
But that was
people love them.
Okay.
But I would rather have Dead Prez energy. I mean, for those of you that might not know, Dead Prez is a
we know
conscious hip hop group, man, that's been putting out albums forever. But it be that same type of energy, though. I would rather the frequency be on that than, and I don't listen. I like NBA YoungBoy, You know what I mean? But I just watch what his music does.
But I heard that same sentiment back in the early 2000s during my club era days or whatever with Lil Jon and what's the other people? Jeezy, all that stuff. Gucci Mane, all that stuff.
We in agreement.
Yeah, we had that same thing. And it's just more.
I'm saying in hindsight,
yeah,
the stuff that I was supporting back in the day was wrong too, and it led to what we have now. So I'm not just coming at it from like, oh, you're doing it wrong now. I'm just saying like we've been on this path for a while, and it's destructive.
But what makes it wrong?
Because like I feel like I know. Okay, so this kind of goes back to the whole argument of like, is art imitating culture or is culture imitating art? And I don't know if it's an either or, because I definitely believe that the culture is imitating art to some extent. Because the reason I brought up me internalizing some of the music that I was listening to when I was a kid, like I think that like some of these kids are also internalizing some of the negativity that they're listening to. You wake up in the morning and you just hear kill nigga this, bitch, hoe, fuck, blah, 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 from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed, right? And let's say you also don't have enough positive reinforcement around you to like balance some of that out, right? And let's be real, like a lot of these kids don't have that, don't have something to counter that energy, right? So if that's all you it's not just, you don't just listen with your ears, right? There's a reason why, people catch the Holy Ghost in church when the music playing, right? Like we feel it, we internalize it, we believe it. You know what I'm saying?
There's a connection. It's a connection that get made.
And you internalize some of that stuff, and you tell them you never listen to a certain like whatever type of music that's ultra aggressive or whatever, and just felt like you about to go smack like somebody your damn self.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go commit a crime.
Right.
But I never wanted to go commit a crime based off some music though.
You might not.
Yeah.
But
right.
Like I mean, but somebody might.
Somebody might. I mean, there's all possibilities in this world of 9 billion people. It goes back to this. I don't know if y'all remember when Bill O'Reilly, Cameron, and Dame Dash was on Fox News. You remember that famous episode? Yeah. It was like, "Hi, you mad? You mad?" You remember that episode?
I remember.
And one of the things Dame Dash said, he was very poignant, right? He was very poignant when he said it. He said, "We make the music, right? Talking about where the people are from, talking about what goes on in our environments." But he was like, where does the responsibility stop at to have that filter of telling that child or that young person to say, hey, you can and can't listen to that, or even if you do listen to it, hey, young man, you don't go do that stuff. You can listen to it, but that's not something that you actually action on. Where does that level of responsibility come at? Because the thing is, as an artist, they're just expressing themselves in a verbal art form. It's no different than a painting. It's no different than a movie. It's no different than any type of art form. A photograph, right?
It is different.
How is it?
It's different for us, right?
So we have a different set of rules.
The reason I say it's different for us because like hip hop is not just music,
right?
It's there's a reason why Drake is basically got canceled or whatever you want to call it, right? It's because people are saying that he's not real, right? There's a
Man,
belief.
a Drake song come on right now, I'm about my head.
But there's an idea that there's a belief that there's something behind the artist that they're reflecting something that's real about them, about what they experienced, and so it's not just you aren't allowed to like just make music and be like, oh, it's just music.
But if I could, I know you want to jump in this, Sudan. So if I am a Appalachian country music and I sing about coal mines. I worked in a coal mine. That's my actual life. I have a responsibility as an artist to say, hey man, if you go work in a coal mine and go get sick, that's my responsibility. It's like I don't understand why we give hip hop so much power. It's a powerful music. It's a good soundtrack to the struggle, especially for African Americans and then people in the diaspora, the other forms, and we'll talk about that later. But I don't think we can give hip hop that much power to say that it comes with this supernatural power to like take over somebody's essence and spirit. It's
I
music.
think all music does that.
It's music.
But I think the difference is that like there's a reason why like if you're it's black music. It's black. Like you could be a white rapper, but you're considered a guest. You're considered, you know what I'm saying? Like this music is a reflection, or it's supposed to be a reflection of us, of our culture. That's what they say. It's of the culture, right? So there is some responsibility to have some balance, to not just put out anything out there. And
it's one sided. It's we talking about the all around elements. We had the art, the fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hip hop was an art form.
It was
Rap was the music. Hip hop was the art form.
Right. So it was a whole movement that still come with certain artists. It's a whole thing. It ain't just them. They're bringing the whole spectrum of hip hop, and I believe that's where the disconnect is at with me. It's like, okay, so where are those graffiti artists, or where are those clothes designers? We supposed to be networking with these people to represent hip hop and network. Now, as far as storytelling, they telling stories like they great storytellers. I'm gonna never take that from them. Are they? Sometimes I feel like the stories they are telling are not true to themselves. You know what I mean? Because now we are living in a world where being imaginative is encouraged. So
but didn't we always think that, Sudan? Didn't we always think that some of these rappers were lying?
It's
a fine balance.
It's a fine balance. But when we talk about the golden age, they were direct reflect. Melly Mel, that was a direct reflection of what he saw every day. When the message came out. Nas, One Mic, it's a direct reflection. So it's a different type of energy. And I promise you, we're not knocking any of y'all young guys. I love y'all music. I'm just saying, I sometimes can't figure out if you're telling the truth, a true story that's supposed to have a moral. Like, all right, I told you all this craziness, but we don't want to be dealing with that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I get a lot from Roots, even with Eve and all of them in those days, it was, even though it might be a dance track, it's something you're going to get something
that's real.
That's real.
You know what? It's like because he brought up Pac, right? Mm-hmm. Pac was a poet, right? He might be talking some gangster shit in one song,
right?
But he'll still make Dear Mama, right? Like,
but Pac said every little city we. No, that wasn't Pac. That was Nate Dogg. I mean, Pac was I get around. I mean, we can go. I mean, come on.
Okay.
What he said? What Pac said? Pop the champagne too. And pop the condoms. Yeah. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, I mean, let's. But what I'm saying let's not do that with Pac.
No,
what I'm saying,
he said that was the balance.
That was the balance, right? So you had the songs that was a party and this, that, and the other, but he was a real person. He expressed real feelings like a human being. You telling me all you think about is
popping guns, shooting people, killing the
all you do?
You can't. That's all they want to do.
That's all you gotta talk about.
I can't do that to the youth, right? Because I listen to NBA Youngboy. He has some songs that when he's actually talking about things that's going on with him or whatever.
That's why
right?
I said that storytelling is incredible.
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't want us to become the frumpy old elder statesman of the culture where it's like, man, these young boys here, these young women here. Hey, look, even shout out to Sexy Red. I don't bang with Sexy Red, but it's no different. It's no different than what Little Kim did. Oh man, come on. It's no different.
I don't believe her though.
It's fine.
Lil' Kim's story I can believe.
I mean, but what's the difference? You may not believe it, but she may have done it.
No, so that's what we're saying. It's we're not being grumpy because we're being negative towards them. Okay, what we're saying is, we don't believe the stories they telling. Like they're
who believed them anyway?
A whole lot of people. I mean, when I listen to Lauryn Hill's Unplugged album, like I really you've been through that. I feel like she been through that when she was doing those, even on her first album, she went through some of the stuff she was talking about. So that was the connection, and we spoke about that earlier. That's the connection. I like to connect with the music. Now, they are connecting to the storytelling. NBA young boy. Like I said, I'm not, and I don't want to keep mentioning him because I don't want nobody to think.
Man, shout out to NBA young boy,
shout out
man.
to him. Any of those, I think it's called drill music. Any of the drill music rappers.
He just encapsulates, just
no.
He's great.
I've never listened to an NBA young boy album.
You should listen to him.
I can't because
please have your dad listen to NBA young boy.
He stays on the frequency. He's a great storyteller, man. Like if you take the beat away and have the story. He is phenomenal storyteller.
Okay.
And he's not even drill music.
Right.
Drill music is a whole different thing.
But you add that, and this is what hip hop was connected to, that drum. Now you adding, now we playing with the ancestors now because we using that frequencies and adding that to, certain things, man. And it's conjuring spirits in our people.
Yeah.
Now, if I could, right? Sudan, you talking about the ancestors here at Sankofa, Sessions. We always like to tie things to diaspora, right?
Right.
So one of the things, especially African American and diaspora culture has exported is hip hop, right? Can we agree on that?
Oh yes.
Can we agree with that? Right?
And hip hop.
Look at Burna Boy.
Culture,
Look at Burna
right,
Boy.
Yeah.
He's straight hip hop.
Yeah, shout out to Burna Boy, right?
Shout out to him.
What are your feelings on the export of hip hop as a commodity to the diaspora, to blacks everywhere? What are your feelings on? I would love to hear your opinion, Kofi, on that.
Because I feel like it has and is continuing to do damage here. I'm feeling mixed emotions about it being exported, because like if you feel I rather they not. So actually one of the things that actually made my transition, I really stopped listening to a lot of stuff after I went to Ghana. When I came back, like I saw how that culture was so different, right? Like first of all, let's just okay. A lot of people make the correlation between violence, crime, and poverty, right? Mm-hmm. My trip to Ghana taught me that that's not necessarily true. Right, because there's a lot of poverty in Ghana, but it's one of the safest countries in the world, right? And I attribute that to a cultural difference, right? That's not they can't, be out there robbing and stealing and stuff like that, but they don't, right?
I would agree with you on that.
Like like just from like a safety or crime standpoint, Ghana is ranked 53rd, I believe, in the world. Mm. America's like 120 something, right? And so like that was one of the things that made me go, damn, I've been all this time just equating poverty and crime like it's inevitable, but it's not. So like what are we doing in our culture here that what are we getting wrong? And so going back to the question about like the exporting of hip hop and things like that, I didn't really hear that. I know they have it over there, right? But I feel like they haven't really embraced that type of culture as much over there yet. It's not as widespread yet. To me, that might be part of it. I'm sure there are a lot of other factors too, right? I'm not saying like that's the only reason crime happens or nothing like that. I know there's a lot of factors that influence that, but I feel like I would rather the diaspora or Africa or wherever just like do your own thing, keep because they're doing a lot of things right that we don't necessarily get right.
I agree. Hip hop, as far as it's already been they already been at it. London is stuck in one phase of what hip hop brought over. Mm-hmm. Outside of Drake, Kendrick, what we would consider superstar hip hop artists. They had
drum and bass and all that
right,
stuff.
Right. Outside of those type of artists, overseas is still connected to the roots of what, hip hop was all about. So, as far as the diaspora, they were gonna always be influenced by us, man.
Exactly.
They're gonna be, kind of like what. Oh Lord.
Okay. Hey, guess what we had? We have Resist
We have
bookstores.
Resist bookstores.
Booksellers, excuse me, here
What
in
is
Petersburg.
going on?
So, hey, look, that's a beautiful segue into our sponsor, our host, and everything else. Shout out to Demetrius and Resist Booksellers here in Petersburg, Virginia. If you're looking for a local business and a black business to buy books from, he had it online. Come do it right here. So if you want to get a national seller, a Pulitzer Prize or a New York bestseller, instead of buying it from Amazon, you can buy it from a local business.
And records too.
Yep, Resist Booksellers. Just want to put that out there.
A lot of good hip hop records, positive hip hop.
But Cardi B over there too.
We need to get that
exactly.
We need to get that out of there. We need to get Cardi B out of here.
Really trying to make us like grumpy old men. And we're not, man. Like
I just don't want y'all to be the F granddad on Boondocks.
Well, I also want to shout out our photographer sponsor as well, Modern Man.
All right.
Check them out.
Shout out to Modern Man.
But yeah, no, go ahead.
I mean, I don't want him to, because it seems like he's trying to make us the grumpy.
I am not. I am not.
I don't mind.
I like a lot of the music. I'm not even gonna lie. It's not something I'm gonna, because I'm at a better place as a human being now. So I understood what it took late, like in hindsight, I understood what Mobb Deep music was really doing to me. You know what I mean? What is going on?
Nah, you good.
I don't know what's gonna, you know what I mean? So I had to stop listening to it, and I love Mobb Deep.
And if I could, Sudan, like, and Kofi, when it comes to the exportation of hip hop, right, the exporting it, I think it's nothing more than a cultural exchange, right? I can go back, like I said, I'm originally from Ghana. I can go back to the pioneers of like Ghanaian hip life, because our version of hip hop was hip life. It was merging our high life, which was traditional music, with the hip hop element. So you had people like Reggie Rockstone, right? That was UK born, but he was an influential figure. And now you got people like, let me go back. You had people like Achame Kwame, T Blaze. Then you got into Socrates, who was kind of like millennial generation. And then you had Shatta Wale and those guys. Then you got people like, what's his name? Stonebwoy. And the reason why I'm mentioning all those people is because they used the same rhythms and even collaborated with some of the African American artists here to have like crossover hits. So it was more of a cultural exchange, but I don't think that's seen a lot. I think sometimes hip hop is, I won't say painted in a negative light, but the negativity gets more of the publicity, but there's some cultural exchange that goes on. Like Burna Boy, classic example, right? A lot of his crossover hits are sampling R&B and hip hop songs from the United States. If you think about it, some of his biggest crossover hits are those songs. Like he sampled a Toni Braxton song, right? And that's one of his biggest crossover hits. So I think there's a lot of good, because guess what? Afrobeats, and I don't say this, I say this as opinion, not so much as a fact. Afrobeats replaced dancehall music on the radio. Because you remember in the summertime, growing up in the 90s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, there was always dancehall hits coming out, or there was dancehall music. Now they have Afrobeats blocks on urban radio stations now, right? And I love that, because guess what? The music from the continent had to be digestible for African Americans to consume it. So you got that cultural exchange of them hearing the African American music and was able to make it. Because I will tell you this, when I came back from, I remember I had a Hip Life CD back in the early 2000s, and I was in high school, and I would let my buddies hear it. They were like, man, what's that? They liked the beat, but the guys were rapping in Tree, and it wasn't as polished, and the production wasn't as great. But guess what? Over time, I can guarantee you, there were drum machines that got shipped over there. There was better studio equipment that got shipped over there. There was music that they would hear and hear. It was like, dang, our brothers and sisters are producing on a scale of quality that we can't even match right now. Let's step our game up. So I think there is a unique balance and a unique benefit that it's a beautiful cultural exchange, even though it's in its rawest form, right? It's in its rawest form. Yes, NBA Youngboy, shout out to him. What he talks about sometimes is not palatable. Sometimes some of our African artists, their music is not palatable. But when you have that exchange, they can learn and grow from each other. You know, I think that's the beautiful thing about hip hop. Hip hop was able to be that mass music export from African Americans in this country that can touch the world, but it's touched so many people that has allowed them to put their own spin on it.
Okay, I mean, I get it, but even Biggie, said that I can't, rap about, drug dealing no more because he wasn't a drug dealer no more. So
but it sounds
cool. I think what we're asking is grow.
You know what? So just
you helped us get right to where we needed to be at.
Yeah,
grow. Like I'm not. You did all that. You done shot everybody. You done killed every op.
Everybody did, man.
Everybody did, bro. But now you don't even live in those places no more.
But isn't no different than a poet or a writer who writes about the same genre of their writing. So if somebody writes crime novels,
different. You could be a love poet but still grow.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just to piggyback on this real quick. So I was watching this interview. It was Jada and Fat Joe. They podcast, and they was interviewing Havoc, and they was putting out the new album, and they're playing it, and I'm listening to like all this stuff about selling drugs and killing and this, that, and the other.
He did it.
Right? And I'm like, first of all three y'all on this stage are millionaires. All of y'all don't live in no hood. Y'all in some gated community somewhere, right? Can't you rap about anything else? Can't you show these young kids? Y'all over here telling kids to go sell drugs and kill people. Meanwhile, y'all are millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Like, grow, teach, learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, pass on some knowledge. Pass on some game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got stocks and bonds and, Bitcoin and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are not living that life no more. But you just, why do you have to just keep reverting? Why does hip hop have to just keep reverting back to killing, sex, and for the women? Like, I mean, we focus on the violence, but like from the women's standpoint, like that's just as horrible. It's just that to me, I don't know.
It sounds good.
They call it empowerment.
It's horrible.
So
it's
bullshit. Anytime people have arguments against it, it's like, why y'all like she's empowering herself, she's taking control of her narrative. I get it, you know what I mean, but at the same time, as a human, I'm not the same person at 51 that as I was at 40. Like, right. So a lot of, even though I might, as far, I'm going to use poetry as an example, my poems may seem similar tone, but the lyrics are different. I done growed a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm 10 years older now, so it's like, I might be telling the same similar story, but I'm telling it from a different lens. So, I'm looking at hip hop from all of the lenses now, and I'm gravitating to those people that fit into that lens. That's why I said it's something different. I don't, and I think they deserve not to be connected to hip hop. That's just my personal opinion.
So you're proposing. I'm not saying proposing, but your sentiment is that the people who talk about those things, it should be like another genre.
It is. It's another genre.
What kind of? I mean, what
so
is
you
it, though?
so you mentioned Afrobeats, right?
Yeah. And that's not a real genre, by the way. It's not.
Like a lot of people try to connect Afrobeats with. I think the connection is more connected to roots than actual dancehall. That's why a lot of those artists fall into the R&B category when they get awards. Roots were pretty much. They were R&B singers. You saying the group The Roots? No, I'm talking about roots reggae. Oh, roots reggae, like right. Jimmy Cliff and those kind of guys. Right, it's a lot of singing. And if you listen to Afrobeats, aside from some of those that are trying to mimic hip hop, the mass majority of them are they're telling stories. They're rhythmic, right? Yeah, they're rhythmic. And Afrobeats is an arbitrary genre because you have Fela in Nigeria who came up with Afro beats, right? But there's, like I said, in Ghana, I can speak specifically, Socrates, he's hip life because he raps, but they may have some melodic hooks. But when it comes here, because he has that accent
and it comes from the continent, it's Afrobeats. It's not everything that comes from the continent is Afrobeats. You know what I'm saying? That's just a label that when it comes here is packaged. You know, that's just something we do.
I mean, it's some of the best. Listen, I love it. I'm so in love with it.
Oh no,
it's
been
so
good.
It's like a new love for me right now. It has filled in that hip hop spot for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
man.
Yeah,
I remember listening to Tribe Called Quest, Stressed Out. Like I remember,
yes,
like when that dropped, bro.
Right.
Like Afrobeat, like I don't know if anybody ever listened to that album, like with some headphones on, some great headphones on, with your eyes closed. Like you can feel the pain, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of with Afrobeats and some of the other, spin-offs. Like I'm feeling the stories, man. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Like you know how when you get in that good movie, that one movie that brought a tear out of you because you really were invested.
Yeah.
I mean, even movies today, like we can go on and on with the differences. Like some of the movies today, it's like I'd have figured out who the killer is 10 minutes in. That never happened.
It goes
back
to like the corporate. It's like it feels like before there was more variety because that was the intent. Right, like whereas now it's like because of the algorithms and because it's so corporate, it's like who's the top what's the top song right now? All right, let me make one just like it. So it's like the goal is not to put out anything unique. The goal is not to be creative. The goal is not to be different. You just have to keep saying the same thing because you just have to keep following the trend.
But you all, let me ask this: you all don't feel like we have the greatest element of choice this day? Because I know, like for me, right? I'm a big West Coast hip hop person. I like West Coast hip hop. I like West Coast R&B, right? I'm really feeling my boy Larry June, Blast, and a couple other people. My algorithm trends to that. If they got a guy out of DC, Primo Rice. I like Primo Rice. My algorithm trends to that. So now it's not so much like, and I have another algorithm that I listen to, like the Clips. Shout out to the Clips. That's your 757 boys there, right?
Man. They did.
Shout out to the thing. So now you have the democracy of choice. You can find any music you want to listen to, no matter how niche it is, because there's millions and millions and millions of songs of streaming. When you were growing up, when I was growing up, and when you were growing up, if it wasn't on the radio, if it wasn't on WPGC, if it wasn't on 103 Jams, if it wasn't on Power 92 or whatever here in the Richmond area or 106 The Beat, those monopolize our ears because we only had that source. But now with technology and streaming, you can plug into any type of music. We have the ultimate amount of choice now. And if I could, the point I'm making is that I think a lot of times we're prisoners to our time period. We're prisoners to nostalgia. There was a time period in our life when music meant the most to us, right? I know for me, music meant the most to me from 16 to about 24. I go back to that music because I had 2 kids during that time. I was in high school. I joined the military that time. It was a lot of things going on in my life. So I'm always nostalgic from 2003 up until about like 2012 or 13 or whatever. That's my go-to music. But I have to acknowledge that these guys are good, if not better, because they have evolved the culture a step forward. It may not be to my liking, but I have to acknowledge the evolution in how they've taken the culture forward, because they are millionaires now. They are.
I think they've taken themselves forward. I don't think they've taken the culture forward.
You don't think so?
Nah, man.
No,
We're
I
talking
don't think-
about the
I don't
whole
think we're-
culture, bro.
But not everybody's going to be
we're-
dashiki. I'm black, y'all. I'm black. We're not
But you know
doing
what
that.
though? Like
But-
you mentioned Dead Prez, like you could never see a Dead Prez rise to the top. They might be out there somewhere, but you'll never hear them.
That's what we saying, bro. Like where are those people in this?
They're touring the independent circuit, making a lot of money.
No, you're not understanding what we're saying.
No,
where
I'm
are
listening.
those people in this generation's hip hop in the mainstream?
I mean, you got Rhapsody. Rhapsody is a female rapper.
Consider underground though.
Yeah.
She is, but she gets a lot of play.
Nobody
we're not-
mainstream.
Nobody mainstream. We're talking
Nobody
any of these-
mainstream has anything to say.
And there's a couple out there, but they're considered underground.
Yeah.
But what do
Right.
you all consider mainstream? Like, honestly, in this day and age of a fragmented music landscape, right? where my algorithm literally controls what I listen to, what is mainstream. And don't use Drake. Cannot use Drake.
Drake was mainstream.
Yeah.
Right? He was the standard at one point. So we're talking about as far where is the opposite of NBA YoungBoy right now?
That is on par.
That is on par with the same type of veracity.
Following
but he's
Kendrick Lamar.
No.
You don't think Kendrick Lamar doesn't have a huge following?
He has a great you arguing a different point.
No.
We're saying where are the positive hip hop artists to combat them? We had that back in our day.
We've always had that.
For every Mobb Deep, you had a Common. For a Common, you had Father MC. For every type of negative rapper, we had an opposite rapper. Where's that today though?
So you're telling me?
So why does Kendrick count?
Yeah, why does he count?
I mean, Kendrick can count because Kendrick is we talking about as far as NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah.
Kendrick definitely can count. I'm saying he don't count, but I'm talking about as far as the NBA YoungBoy lane.
I mean, but I'm saying, so let's, if I could,
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar performed in a Super Bowl. NBA YoungBoy would never be on a Super Bowl. Let's be honest, right? He took hip hop to one of the biggest stages in this country,
not
right?
denying him. He's a little older though in the game now.
He's 38.
Right.
He's same age as me. He's 38.
He almost 40.
He almost 38.
Okay, almost 40.
Okay.
I'm talking about these 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds. Where is the opposite though? And there's a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't know them. I don't know. I hear the music though. I don't know all their names, and they are great storytellers. But where are the ones that are, like we said, we had the dashiki.
But generations overlap.
They won't. And I think the reason that you'll never have that again is going back to like the music is. You talk about control. We don't control the music, so we don't control the culture. Right, the culture. There was this one little shot video clip that went viral of like this rapper. Right, he was, I guess he was performing for like some record label or something like that to try to get signed or something. I don't know. He was
talking about Bobby Shmurda. That's what you talking. You know the Bobby Shmurda video
when he was like in the board.
Yeah, he was like bah, 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 bah.
Yeah,
he was
and
doing
he was
that.
Like standing on top of the table, and it's a room full of white people, right? And it's like those are the people
He's
that
a
are
bad
choosing
example.
the music.
He went to jail and was trying to get on.
But my point, that's like that scene is symbolic, regardless of who it is. It doesn't even, I don't even know who it was, but it doesn't even matter who it was. My point is like that scene is symbolic of how the music gets produced and who gets signed and who rises to the top. Because like the boardroom that is picking those people to get signed is not us.
I don't think. I think once upon a time that was true, but I think now that you can create an organic following, I think that's less true. That was no difference even if you look at the theatrical portrayal of NWA, right, and Straight Outta Compton, they had a non-black person that was financing them, that was pumping out the music. So it was, even during the golden era in the 80s, it was the same case. So if I could, and if I'm assuming this, please correct me. Then we never controlled the music then. We never did.
I mean,
because Bad Boy had Arista.
Hold on, that's across the board though. Like across the music genre board.
Okay.
That's another whole podcast.
But I'm not saying I'm not taking a generational thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I'm owning the fact that we've always had these issues.
Mm-hmm.
Now I believe it's gotten worse, but like those issues have always existed. Like
what issue of us not controlling the music,
right? And us putting out too much negativity and too much negativity rising to the top, right? I just was doing some research or whatever, for this show. 80% of the music out right now, of the hip hop rap music out right now is about sexually explicit stuff or violence. 80% of the top. That's
too much.
That's too much.
But that's been the case since when?
I don't think it's always been the case. There's always there.
Yeah,
but,
but
80%.
I'm gonna say between 90 and 95, a drastic transition, happened.
So we're talking about 36 years ago, right? And hip hop is how old? Hip hop's 50, right?
Right.
So we're talking about for more than half. Hip hop has been.
I'm validating your argument right now.
Okay.
I'm validating your argument right now. Like that transition happened because that was the the early Wu-Tang, early Nas, early Biggie.
Can't forget Hammer, man. Pumps in the bump. Pumps in the bump.
we was kind of they was weeding away from Hammer.
No, I'm talking about when Hammer went hardcore when he had the Scully on.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that when the transition of hip hop went from braggadocious party, it was in that's when the transition happened. Like you said, I just said Salt and Pepper got denied their masters. Like that's crazy, bro. How you can't have masters to something you wrote?
Hey, sometimes you gotta read them contracts. Unfortunately,
yeah, but you wrote it, bro. Yeah. So that's why I say now, most of these guys, they might not be controlling the distribution of it, but they got ownership of their masters,
which was a natural evolution of things, right? They learned from their forefathers, right? And now, right?
Q-Tip wrote a book though. A lot of those artists that started giving wisdom to a lot of these newer artists, they took it to heart. Like they wrote a lot of hip hop artists wrote books about how they got raped by the industry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and they came up with uncles that were listening to certain artists. So I'm like I said, I'm not the old man that is against what they got going on. I just want to be able to see the other side with it. That's it. And I don't, other than artists that are labeled underground outside of Kendrick, there's none that are getting mainstream pushed as far as that side of it.
Yeah.
It got to be a gimmick if it is. Like, there's a few gimmicky people out there that they're pushing.
I think the one thing that online platforms did was it democratized music. Like, if you don't want to listen to something, I don't have to listen to the radio. I mean, we were joking the other day. How many?
I love that for me.
Yeah, like you don't like people forget they have CD players in their car. People forget that they even have a radio. I can't remember the last time I actually turned on the radio. I used to get excited when I used to drive up to DC, WPGC, all this stuff, and you wanted to hear the music. Now I can get the latest release as soon as it's published on streaming.
And that's from
any artist.
So the DJ part of that hurt the DJ part of hip hop. Because the early days, the DJ was the one that debuted albums. We were the ones. Like, you came to a party, and we'd be like, "Yo, we got this brand new Lil' Kim," and you hadn't heard it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, they don't have that no more because most of these artists are putting their own albums out on their YouTube channels simultaneously while it's being uploaded to Spotify and any other places that you can download it. And we got access to it.
Yeah, it was a great democracy of music. Started with Napster and all the other platforms. I
don't even see how they're making money because most of them put it on. You can get YouTube for free.
Well, I mean, it's. I mean, also too a lot of touring. It's the fan.
I'm just saying they're not making, like, a lot of the artists in our time was really making money off of their sales.
Oh, physical copies,
right?
Of course.
There's where their money have to be coming from touring and all of the other endeavors that they're in, man. As far as the businesses, because now a lot of them got a lot of businesses.
Oh yeah.
And I think again, I can't imagine KRS-One with access to $50 million.
Yeah, but there'll never be another KRS-One.
Oh, no.
There'll never be another Tribe. They'll never, not like. I was watching this interview with Nas and DJ Premier, and they were talking about how because this is the first time a hip hop record was not in the top 40, right?
Yeah, that happened a couple months ago.
They were like, good, and I was like, good, like, isn't this, but they were like, it wasn't supposed to be that. It's not like the reason it even made it to the top 40 is because it's become commercialized. And you could say that's just old men being grumpy, whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, the commercialization of hip hop means that you're just constantly trying to do what's popular, and what's popular sometimes isn't necessarily good for the culture. Is my point, because what's popular is violence, drugs, sex, and we can't just keep feeding our kids that. But we have problems within the culture that we need to fix, and we need to pump the culture, the kids, full of more positivity. And so like you can't have it both ways. You can't just be like, oh well, it's just art, right? You know, like, because then you're ignoring the fact that this is influencing the culture.
No,
This
it
this
is.
You know what
It
I'm saying?
is.
So it's like, don't we want more positive influence?
We do, but I just think that we're giving, and I'm gonna get criticized for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think we're giving those people who make music a lot of important air and a lot of importance in our culture overall. I think you should be more influential in our culture because of what you do. I think you should be more influential. I think anybody who's a father should be more influential. But I think that how the way this, how the way we're set up as a country, how the way we're set up as a society to like love celebrity, we put importance on entertainers more than we should. I get it. I can't stop that. I don't think any of us can stop that. But at the end of the day, these people are entertainers. They're no different than the court justice of the medieval times. They're no different than the tribal person who was the medicine man and also the entertainer. This is the modern day equivalent. Why are we giving these people so much power over us when honestly we don't have to? They're entertainers.
Well,
they are.
I guess because if that's what they are, that's what
Yeah.
I guess I come from a place where they weren't just entertainers; they were teachers, right? Like they were inspirational. They we would never get another Public Enemy. Music was the soundtrack to the civil rights movement. Like we would never, we look at what's going on around us right now. Who's rapping about who's rapping about that? You know what I'm saying? Like the world is basically, we done took a 50-year backtrack on when it comes to like civil rights and all types of this stuff that's going on. But you'll never hear that. You'll never hear a present day Public Enemy saying, fight the power.
But there's artists that rap about that. I mean, I remember when Bush was president, you had Jada come out with Why, right? That was the thing. You had Big Sean, One Man Can Change the World. You had all these songs that come out by these artists. I just think, honestly, unfortunately, we're very nostalgic to the times that we're held prisoner to, which may have been the early, onset of hip hop. But there are artists that come out with songs about things that, and music about stuff that talks about current day stuff. It's just that it's different. It's maybe not something our palate is used to, but they do talk about it. These young people, they talk about stuff. Like I know NBA YoungBoy's got songs about, some ailments he has, and he talks about mental illness and stuff like that. To the young kids, mental health is a big thing, and he relates it. You got Rod Wave. I love Rod Wave. Rod Wave talks about how, how was the struggle just to make it as a man.
Or is he R&B?
But the thing is, it's a fusion.
I get
right?
it. Right.
But you would say that he's a part of hip hop culture, though.
I agree.
Yeah, you would say he's a part of hip hop. Do you listen to Rod Wave?
Mannerisms. I mean, but I
know. I don't listen. I never listened to like a whole album.
Yeah. But you've heard of him before.
I heard him. Yeah.
You've heard of him before, right? So if I could, right?
I like him.
I think we gotta give this generation grace because our elders gave us grace, right? They're still trying to figure out their voice as they become the adults in this world. It was no different than Shorty. Nas, remember that? You remember that? You can back it up once or twice. But Nas, we didn't talk about one mic. We gave him grace, right? We gave him grace.
He also gave us I Know I Can.
Yeah, but then he also said Uchi Wale. So let's not do that, right?
That's the balance.
We gave him, but we
gave
gave him grace.
No,
you gotta give the kids grace.
He was being creative.
Yeah, but
right.
These kids are being creative too.
Be human, be well.
So NBA YoungBoy's not human. He's just this thug that's gonna shoot bang.
Like a different point than we argue. We're not against the young folks, bro.
I'm saying that.
I keep saying I'm not. It's not a young versus old because I go after the old folks just the same. Like a lot of this I'm doing in hindsight. I grew up on all of that negativity too. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying like, if you want to look at it from a generational standpoint, I think it's shifted. So where maybe before it was like 50-50 or 60-40 or whatever, now it's like 80-20.
But see,
and so like to me, like that's just I'm just saying that's not good. You know, I'm just saying that's not good.
I'm looking for it just to be, because they are there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I need it to be pushed in the same way as, you know, all of the other artists. You know, King Von, you know, all of them, all of these people when they was living. You know what I mean? Like, I want the positive person that's from that generation that's doing what we consider positive hip hop. I want them to be pushed the same way. And they out there.
Yeah, they out there.
My rebuttal earlier was that they are considered underground, though, other than Kendrick. Now, he did mention Kendrick. Kendrick is in that. I would say Kendrick and Wale are definitely, because Wale, you know, I don't know if you listen to the new album.
Adih it is a classic.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Like, it is.
You listen to it?
I have not.
It is gutty.
That's DC.
It's that gutty.
I do too.
East
I do too.
Coast. I mean, the storytelling is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it's like, it kind of reminds me of children's story, like the fate. You know what I mean? The different phases that he go through in there. So,
And Wale, even though he's an elder statesman of this hip hop generation, he's still a part of it, right? He's that overlap, because as we know, we agree on this, music, especially hip hop, overlaps, right? Because it was once upon a time when you had the Outkast coming out, they were doing songs with Slick Rick, right? So you have those overlaps of generations, because the older hip hop artists haven't quite phased out or went to the whole, you know, legends department yet. So they're trying to get with the new artists, and I think that's where Wale, J. Cole, and Kendrick reside at. So they're still a part of the current generation.
Yeah, it's not to say there's nobody out there. I love J. Cole.
yeah, he one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's nobody out there, but
And he makes some crazy music too. Like, he'll have you, and then it'll be go off the, like, okay, J. Cole.
I'm not, like, violence is part of our society.
Yeah.
Sex is part of our society. We don't have to be nuns. We don't have to be priests. We don't have to be, you know, perfect. We could highlight all the different parts of our society.
Because you mentioned Public Enemy, there was Flavor of Love. I'm just saying, you mentioned Public Enemy. I mean, I was a fan of Flavor of Love. So
I was not a fan of
okay,
Flavor
I
of
watched.
Love.
I watched every Sunday. I watched it every Sunday. I can name the names of them if I could, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, let's not. But so, like, yeah, it's not to say that you got to be all or nothing. It's just that when you could objectively say that 80% of all the top music out there is violence or emphasizes violence, sex, and drugs, like, how could that be good? You tell me, you say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of the top stuff out there, I just don't think that's. I don't think it's not a matter of, like, is there other music out there? It's just that saying that the majority of the stuff that reaches the top is negative stuff.
Well, my foot in the sand is this, that, okay, we talking about one dynamic of the community that I came from. But the greater note is, I understand what certain things do to my community. So what am I going to start formulating? This is what I want from our artists.
Okay.
Okay, so that we can start making changes. You know, just giving out turkeys at, you know, Thanksgiving and giving out Christmas presents. You have a moral value that you have to add to your art as well. You know, that's what I'm holding them responsible for. You can keep making all the type music you want, but at the end of the day, like you said, we had people to say, hey, you know, you might not want to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, so you have to start curving into that phase. Like, I mean, I'm talking about this, but I really want you on this level. I really want you in ownership. I really want you to understand business. I really want you to start, you know, and I think one of my posts was like, you know, we need more black lawyers. We need more black politicians, you know, because to continue to talk about the circumstances, one circumstance is poverty, violence, sex, but there's another flip side to all of that, you know, and when can we get you to start promoting that side through your music, through your art form? Because you really, if you're saying you love your people,
record labels ain't gonna have it.
I get it, but I feel like they're in a position where they don't even need the record label to be able to create that.
But somebody got to pick what records go on the album. Like and like it would, for if your brand is sex, money, drugs. Ain't nobody trying to hear you talk about nothing positive at this point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and from a record label's perspective, like they be like, what the hell? What you doing? That's not what we selling here. We selling sex, money, and drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a product you putting out, and you got a brand to uphold.
Yeah, but Ray Charles showed you can do it. You know, Ray Charles challenged the people.
That's true.
He challenged them. You know, and I need these artists now to know that you can challenge. It's your art. You know, so challenge them.
Okay.
Because I know it's within them. I know they don't like going to the hood and still seeing their people in the same condition. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Nas talk about it in a lot of his newer music. It's like, you know, I'm in, you know, hippie clubs now when it's 90% white people. I'm the thug in the room. You know what I mean? Instead of being when I was in a room with thugs. I done went from, you know what I mean, hanging on the block to now calling the shots in boardrooms. Like, I think that's what we want them to start talking more about. Okay, bro, I know you can shoot up everything, but you don't live that every day. Your kids don't go to regular schools.
Right, you're a human being, man.
So what do you want?
I want more balance. I want us to have more. I want to see more balance in the top. You know, like this 80-20. This got to be at least try to trend it back downwards. I would like to see our artists make a concerted effort to have a positive influence on our young people, recognizing that their music does influence, not just entertain.
So like throw something in there in terms of like the mainstream and like diversity and everything. I went through like some of the like Grammy nominees and winners from the last couple of years for the best rap album.
Let's hear this, because I know where you're going with this.
In there you have Tyler, the creator for Kofi.
Okay, he's not a thug.
Kendrick for GNX. JID for God Does Like Ugly.
JID is a good brother too.
Clips for Let God Sort Him Out.
Yep.
And last year the Grammy winner was Doechii for Alligator Bites in the Hill.
And she is very creative. She's a very dope creative artist.
Yeah,
She's not my cup of tea, but no, I'm saying I don't. I've listened to Doechii, but you know, that's not where I'm at in life. But I understand it.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from. He's saying that, you know, some of the representatives didn't represent.
Yeah. Shoot, Clips is old talking about selling drugs. They 50 years old talking about selling dope.
Why are they selling drugs?
But it's shout out to Pusha, man. I love Pusha. You ain't gonna take me off Pusha.
So here's my grace for Pusha. He is a battle rapper. So, you know, Kendrick get that same grace because, you know, he proven he's a battle rapper. You know what I mean? Meaning that, you know, that you remember the era that we came from when it came to battle rap. It was you know, I got to, you know, verbally destroy you. Yeah. So, you know, what they call it, the braggadocious era. So I get it. But they're not. I mean, their concerts are great. I just feel like when the first music comes out, as far as the generation of people that when I normally do club security that I'm around, that is they're listening to. And it's not. I'm gonna say a frequency. They listen to that super, you know, that frequency, and it's like all night. It's no change. There's no change. But what
was it? So was there any difference between that and, like I said, my era when I was in the club, between the crunk era? It was the same frequency.
It changed though. Bro.
Really?
Lad, the DJs gonna switch it up.
And during the early 2000s, like the South was on the rise.
Right.
But like we had East Coast, South, we had West, we had Midwest, everybody had their own flavor.
Okay, all right.
Now, he can probably help us with the names of these guys. He can name them. They're NBA YoungBoy counterparts. They're all
G Herbo.
They're on the same frequency. It's no. That's what we're getting at. Like,
but I'm just saying, what was the difference between, like I said, if I'm gonna relate this to the 2000s, I had Lil Scrappy, I had Lil Jon, I had Trioville.
So
I had.
Have you went to some of the 18 and up clubs?
I would not get caught dead in the 18 and up club right now.
You have to go, bro.
Why would I go?
Because
like now you gonna treat me like a pedophile? Like I'm not trying to go in there.
No, it's gonna validate my point. they don't change the frequency, bro.
But was
they
it
stay
different?
on that the whole night.
We did the same thing, and the only
No,
thing
we did not.
No, so you're telling me, because my
Man,
club
we could
years.
go from Tribe Called Quest.
That was 90s. That was 90s.
Even
I'm talking
2000s.
I'm talking about
Lil
from,
Wayne.
I'm talking about from 2003 up until when I really started going to the club until about 2015, 16. And maybe towards the end, it started changing a bit. But when I was pure 2003 to 2010, I would hear Crime Mob, I would hear Gucci, I would hear Waka Flocka, I would hear Lil Jon,
So you
I
ain't
would hear
heard
Jeezy.
So you ain't heard LL Cool J and
No.
and you saw they played crunk music the entire time.
We
I know
talk-
when I go
So-
out.
No,
as a
no,
mixture-
I
Depending
did.
on where you are, though, right? So
Okay,
like,
I was here.
So I was in. So I went to TSU, right, Nashville, and that was my introduction to the South. I went there around the same time the South was kind of on the rise, hip hop wise, and so yeah, everything sounded the same to me, and honestly, I hated it.
Project Pat, I'm
I
a big
fought it
3-6
for
Mafia.
years.
Right.
Yeah, I fought it for years. Eventually, I started to get to like it. By like my junior year, I was like, all right, you know.
Right.
But yeah, like I know what you mean. Like but I still feel like there was regional diversity.
Yes.
Even if in the South, all of it sound one way, you still had East
Okay.
Coast, you still had West Coast, and there was a distinct.
You're
sound.
saying if you go different places.
No, I'm talking
just
about
saying
if
that
I
there
go
was
to
a
one spot,
variety.
I was going to get down south. I was going to get New York, the gutter New York, dance in New York. I was going to get Virginia. I was going to get Cali. I was going to get everything in between. And I'm saying when I go and I do club security, man, bro, they ain't changing, bro. And they just go from one dude name change to the different dude, and it's like, and you wonder why they fighting.
I mean, I seen people throw clubs in the chairs. I mean, I throw chairs in the club. Excuse me. I mean, back then,
Right.
I mean, you know.
So it was certain 50 Cent songs, certain Dipset songs.
Yeah, I whip your head, boy. Like all them songs and
you
stuff.
could it was
Back
like,
down.
it was real restrictions on clubs playing those, and because from a club security perspective, because they knew.
Look,
They knew what it was gonna do,
I
bro.
couldn't even go to a go-go in DC because, we out of hip hop, but like
Right.
it was. That's what I'm saying. It's not a generational thing. We've been doing some messed up stuff for a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like people got shot every time, every weekend.
You said at a go-go.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
you know,
like shout out to DC, man. I think a lot of people don't realize, and even you have to go to DC to really get it, because they got some people that like it's really underground. It's really gutter,
yeah.
and you wouldn't think go-go would be like that, because
Yeah.
we're used to sexy lady.
No.
Like
No,
I think they used to
you-
call it digging it out. I mean they super
It's
aggressive.
crazy. Yeah,
you know.
it's
But
crazy.
I mean, you
Go
can also
YouTube
go
them.
with the Baltimore bounce.
Yeah, Baltimore club music.
Like it's some aggressive stuff out there.
Shout out to my boy Tim Trees. If you know, you know. I just
You gotta rap.
yeah, we do gotta rap.
Yeah.
But I would say this though. Let's give the young people some grace, please. And I'm not saying that we the old farts and we the old heads, but let's give them some grace. They're gonna sort it out. I think every generation has a little chance to sort it out, and I think they're just going through their chance of sorting it out. They're just becoming adults. They're the same kids that went through COVID, right? These are the same kids that they were eating Tide Pods and stuff. What was it? What's it called? Tide Pod Challenge? Wasn't that a thing like a couple years ago? Right? These iPad babies.
No, all I'm saying
Right?
is,
Like, give them a chance.
I'm not knocking the music. Just tell an all around story of who you are as a human being. So as you progress, as you grow, let your music reflect that.
And they still young now. So maybe when they get to their late 20s, early 30s, maybe when they step into parenthood and, they got to go get EKGs and what Andre 3000 say, I don't want to talk about colonoscopies and stuff like that, right? Maybe when they get a little bit more seasoned, maybe they'll come around. But just remember, Flavor Flav still had Flavor of Love. So the great Public Enemy had a unique dichotomy with them too, right? So Sudan, man, where can we find you at, brother?
You can find me on Facebook at Sudan Anu. I'm under my real name because, I ain't gonna get into it. Me and Facebook got into it a couple of years ago about my Real True Poet page, and that's the whole thing. So Sudan is SUDAN. My last name is AUNU on Facebook. You can find me on, also it's Real True Poet on Facebook. Instagram is One Poet, Real True Poet, because I had to stand out because there was a lot of true poets on Instagram. So it's all spelled out one word, One Poet, Real True Poet on Facebook. And that gives you everything. You can follow me, find out where I'm DJing at, find out where I'm performing poetry at, or whatever events that I'm a part of.
Man, that's dope. Kofi, you got some beautiful things going on, man. You got this after school project going on. Talk to the people, man.
Okay. Yeah. So we just had our first cohort started today with the kids up in Petersburg High School.
Congratulations.
Sankofa Scholars Program we just started. We got the festival coming up in April, which is a fundraiser for that. We're hoping to be able to take them kids over to Ghana. We're doing a cultural exchange, with them, get them some exposure to some more things outside of their community, outside of the country. Yeah, man. So we April 15th, Petersburg, Metropolitan Baptist. Hope you can come out. Tickets are available right now on Eventbrite. Or you could go to our website, sankofatravelswithkofi.org.
That Kofi.
He will steal the money.
Nah. You said I was going to steal the money. No. See, I ain't Nigerian. Don't do that. But, hey, everybody, we love you.
Shout out to Resist.
Yes, Resist Booksellers. Shout out to our new
production as well. I'm loving the new production.
I'm liking it.
I'm loving the new production.
If you notice, we look we got a little better lighting up in here now. Thanks to Modern Man Photography. Appreciate you.
What's that? Book of the week? Book of the month?
The book of the day
What's
is
up?
Hip Hop is History. We can get it here at Resist Booksellers or online at resistbooksellers.com.
Hey, what's your favorite Sexy Red song?
I have no listen. That's all I got to say about that, man.
Shout out to Sexy, man.
Please stop.
Please
stop with the
nasty. Hey, we love y'all, man. Peace. Take care to the next episode. We're out. Peace.
Insound.com